Oh, you're there. Come and have a look. Don't tell anybody else. I've got one of the best lists from Bolt Action English Nationals this year. And we're going to look through it, going to see what we can take from it and see what was used in one of the best two lists. These lists came first and second, but we're going to do the list that came second. And that's Richard Chereshko's list. I hope I haven't butchered his name. I'm sure he'll forgive me if I have. And he played a German list. It was 4 platoons, 2 rifle platoons, an infantry platoon and an artillery platoon, I think. So stay with me and let's see what was actually in the list. So, being Germans, it's got the normal German rules. So we've got the Hitler buzzsaw, given the 1 extra machine gun shot. We've got Blitzkrieg, given the +1 to the snap turret for the German officers. And we also have Panzerace, German rules, and Defend the Fatherland, but he's not really used those 2 rules in this list. However, it's 1,307 points, this army. The English Nationals this year was played over 1,310 points. Kind of odd choice, but that was the pointage. And we were choosing a list. It was a historical list, so you had to name the army, the front, and the year. And you can only use equipment that was found in that front on the year, because it's Historical Wargaming Society is who it's run by, and a great job they did this year. Just a wee shout out to Gary and his dad who were organising. So the first platoon, Rich is taking an inexperienced officer, 21 points, simple, cheap, and you get a dice for that. A lot of people are playing that at the moment. And then he's taken 2 squads of Fallschirmjäger, late war, and so they've got the stubborn. So they're quite difficult to get rid of, even though they're small squads, 5-man squads. They've got a light machine gun in each squad, so they come to 85 points each. Not terribly expensive, but you're not getting a lot for that, so it's a bit of a trade-off. Oops, some weird stuff going on in the background. And he's also taken a squad of Stug Riders, very similar to the Russian tank riders. He hasn't got any Stugs in this, but they come equipped with submachine guns. They're veteran again, and he's also got an artillery slapper. Hope I've not butchered that too much either. That is a +7 armoured vehicle, carries 6 people in it. He's taken that as an experience, but I'm guessing he's going to put probably the Stug Riders and the officer in there, and the officer's going to give it the wee bump in veterancy, if you like, in morale, just to get it on the table if he needs to bring it on. But I guess this one will probably start on the table already if it's inexperienced. And that's really all that's in the first platoon. The first platoon, have we got points total? Yeah, 309 points altogether. So in the second platoon, we're running an armoured platoon. We've got 4 vehicles in here. And being German, surprise, surprise, we have Panzer IIIs, Panzer IIIGs. As you'll know, that means they've got the extra pintle-mounted medium machine gun. So with machine guns, if we're not going to use the main gun, we're getting 12 shots out of this with Hitler's buzzsaw, which, yeah, is quite nice. They're not terribly expensive. They come in at 165, plus 10 for the command vehicle for one of them. They're regular, and that's all you really need to say about them. If they're using the big gun, it's got a 1-inch template. It's not great, but it's not bad. But you're probably going to be using machine guns if you're firing at infantry anyway, I guess, and that gives you your bit of your anti-tank. So he has 3 of those, and then also I am going to maul this, so I'm not going to say the name, but he's got an M35 heavy armoured Kar 27. That's a +7. It comes with hull-mounted forward-facing and a hull-mounted rear-facing medium machine gun, which is fairly unusual for the Germans, and more of a kind of Japanese thing. But nevertheless could be quite handy. But it has a turret-mounted light autocannon, so firing 2 shots, bit of a template out of there. It has recce on it, and it has dual directional steering, so quite handy. It comes in at 105 points, and the armour platoon altogether comes to 590 points. So that's a fair chunk of it, and we see a lot of Panzer 3Gs going about at the moment. In fact, we see an awful lot of armour platoons going about, people using fairly cost-effective armour of one form or another. And as we'll see with the, if you watch the video with the list that came first, there's something similar going on there. Now, when we were down there, I was using these reference sheets that I've made up here, had made for me. Saved an awful lot of going about the rule books, and they also have all the special rules on them as well, so you're not hunting through rule books quite so much. If you want a copy of these, just add a little message down below saying ref sheet, and I'll get one of those sent out to you if that would be help to you. But a big time saver indeed. So on to the third platoon. That's another rifle platoon. Again, Fallschirmjäger. Sorry, I should have started with platoon commander. It's another 21 point platoon commander. So keeping it cheap and cheerful. It's an extra dice, and if you use them wisely, you're going to be getting those snap to it. And if you put him in those armoured open top carriers, he still gets to use his abilities about the field. So the two six-man Fallschirmjäger squads. Sorry, he's got one 6-man and one 5-man Fallschirmjäger squad. Again, it's the stubborn that's in there, so even though they're small, it could be quite hard to get rid of. And they have a light machine gun in one squad, and in the 5-man squad, he has put a Panzerfaust in. That's one Panzerfaust. It's the only one in this army that I've seen here. So one of those squads is 99 points, and the other squad is 105 points with that Panzerfaust in there. And I'm guessing the Panzerfaust is going to go into another one of those artillery schlepper. And so they transport 6, probably going to shove it in there with one of those inexperienced officers, I guess. Yeah, it's open to, but it's quite a nice wee choice. And then he's also put a field gendarmerie squad in there. They're inexperienced, but they do have traffic direction, which means that if they, I think it's if they're left off in reserve, they will help your vehicles coming on. They don't lose the -1. Sorry, they do lose the -1 for any vehicles coming in, which again, quite handy. I was using it in my list. I had MPs in my list to help the traffic come on if they were coming on from reserve. So again, nice cheap squad, another sort of little dice in there. Fantastic. And then we get the artillery platoon. Now I've seen a lot of this at the moment where people are doing, again, he's doing the inexperienced officer. So we've got another inexperienced officer to snap to the 2 artillery pieces that he's got in here. Now we've got a Flak 36. It's a heavy automatic cannon. So he's getting the +3 punch at the short distance, which on the heavy is, the long range is 72, so 36 inches, he's getting that extra +3 penetration, which may stop tanks, certainly stop anything light, and possibly putting 2 pins on them. It's quite an interesting choice. I haven't seen a lot of them. I've seen a few armies that are using light autocannons and heavy autocannons now. Heavy autocannons seem to be a thing that's coming in. And then he's got that inexperienced Nebelwerfer. An awful lot of these in the armies. People are just putting them in. Inexperienced, 46 points. Doesn't cost a lot. The whole platoon costs 122 points for this 4th platoon. His Flak 36 at regular was 55 points. So the platoon itself is only 122 points. And there's quite a lot of firepower on there. And if you can position your Nebelwerfer so it hits, and it does hit, it's a really useful piece for 46 points. It's as cheap as chips, really. I think some people are using spotters when they have them in their army to spot for the Nebelwerfer. I need to look that up, see if it's legal or not, but I've seen a few people doing it, so I'm assuming it is, but we'll check on that. And that's Richard's list. It's a very nice list. I have played something similar myself, not with the 3 Panzer 3Gs. I've played with 2 Panzer 3Gs. I don't really get the best use out of them, but Richard's a really good player. He gets a lot more mileage out of them. This list came 2nd out of 60, so you know, he knows how to use them. What do you think you could use in this list? What would be handy? Is there anything surprised you? Let me know down below what surprised you. We'll add a link to the video that has the list that came first, and we'll add a link to that. And remember, if you want to get the reference sheet, just pop down below, just pop a message saying ref sheet or something like that, and I'll send you a copy of this, no problem. Hope to see you soon, and take care, folks. Looking forward to talking to you in the next video.